What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson, your host of the show here of Metro Scout Fantasy Football. Today, we're just going to talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has been blowing up at the tail end of the season, game after game of production. Finished this last game off here against the Packers in Week 18 with 8 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Had a 34.48% target share. He's been looking good, and there's just a lot of talk on social media whether you should buy him, whether you should be selling him. People are saying he's a hard sell. People are saying he's a hard hold. People are saying he's a hard buy. A lot going on here with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I figured I'd turn on the camera and talk about it. But the big thing here is the final 5 games of the fantasy season, week 13 to 17, this dude blew up. 2.59 yards per route ran, 4.4 yards after catch per reception, a 34% target share, that was 5th in the league, 32% share of the team's air yards, and he posted 391 air yards, which ranked 18th among all pass catchers in the league. And the offense, though, from week 13 to 17, he led the team with 57 targets. Next in line was Josh Reynolds. He had 25 targets. Then it was Khalif Raymond, 15 targets. Then it was Brock Wright, 12. Then there was Kadero Hodge, 12 as well. Craig Reynolds got 8. So TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift was out of lineup during this time. This allowed him to eat. This is pushing the narrative of him being a sell for a lot of Dynasty gamers. And really, when we go back from weeks 1 through 13, the target share numbers looked like this. TJ Hawkinson was the leader with 21%. DeAndre Swift had a 19% target share. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a 16% target share of the passing production. However, when we look at rookies, when we think about rookies and how I always talk about these rookie wide receivers, they pop off in spurts. They come off like firecrackers, and you never know when one wide receiver is going to shoot up in the sky and blow up. That's just how it works. And usually, and sometimes, most of the time, a situation would have to happen for them to get their opportunity to see touches. And he got his opportunity, and one thing's going to happen. This happened because he was nothing left. It was just him to eat the passing production. Or this was his opportunity. He took the ball and he ran with it. And that's what he did here. Now, obviously, can he continue going into next season? He played well. Let's look back at his college profile, and what we were talking about over the summer is very good metric profile. It wasn't gangbusters, but it was very good. It broke out at age 18 at USC with a 25.09% market share of their passing production. Then follow that up, he was steady. Sophomore season, age 19, 23.87% market share. Junior season, 24.95% market share. So he was very productive, owned a large portion of the passing production, but he never went gangbusters. He never had like a 30% market share, never had like 35 or 40%. But he was steady Eddie and had an early breakout age. Film-wise, good technician, good routes, good hands, did everything correctly. I remember I looked back at my videos from last summer. I really wanted to see what I was saying, and I thought he was a good player. The only drawback was that he didn't have elite speed. Not all wide receivers have elite speed, but he was a technician, good route runner, gritty, good hands, and we're seeing that right now. When we look back at ADP back in May, rookie draft ADP, he was falling around 18th off the board, making him like the 206 in drafts, around the mid-second round range. So if you want a return on your investment, if you drafted him there, you might have drafted him a little later, you might have drafted him a little sooner, but if you wanted a return on that investment, you couldn't accept anything probably less than a mid-first round rookie pick and feel good about it. You may need a little bit more. You may need a mid-first and a prospect. You may need the 101, 102. You may need the college prospect in this draft that you want. you may want 2023 picks. You can really set your price right now because the market's going over the moon with this guy, at least halfway. The other half wants to sell him. So there are people who are interested in him. You got a rookie here that's breaking out, who's been productive, who's blown up in the last part of the season, a young player. So when we are looking for the middle of the first round, the players that we're dancing with here are like guys like Treylon Burks. And I know I have Treylon Burks high in a lot of my mock drafts, but I just saw a mock draft online today where he fell to the 107. So it is possible. Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, those are some wide receivers, maybe like a David Bell, Drake London, the other USC wide receiver. Running backs, if you wanted to fill running back, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller, just throwing some names out there. And really, you may get the 106, 105, 104, something like that. And you may want a little bit extra on that, little extra insurance policy. That's something you may want to look into if you are looking to sell. Get that extra kickback on the trade for insurance because you're trading the known commodity. Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he hasn't fully stabilized in his career yet, he's had, 5-6 games of solid production. That doesn't mean that's going to roll over in 2022. However, we know what he is. We know that he is capable of producing at the NFL level. We know that he can produce, he can get on the field, and he can put up good numbers. We don't know that of any of these rookies. We do not know where they're going. So I would ask for a kickback on those trades. I would ask for a second, third, whatever. I would not be satisfied even with the bump up. I would not accept a second round pick. I would not accept a late first round pick. And honestly, if I was going to get a mid first, I feel like I'd want a little bit more. I would negotiate harder for more on that deal. It's going to be hard to get more unless someone's over the moon. I saw someone trade Chase Claypool for him. If you want a player like that in that range, go ahead and do so. Get the players you want. If you're not into Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you think he's a sell, because there is some speculation here. His air yards are kind of low. He's not getting those deep balls. He was 5th in the league in target share, but 18th in air yards during his run there. That's kind of skeptical right there. Getting targets along the line of scrimmage, but he's getting targets in volume. But that volume may not be there when Hawkinson is back, when Swift's back to full health. If they bring in another wide receiver, which they have to bring in another wide receiver. When Swift was out, they were rolling with St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Brock Wright, Hodge, Craig Reynolds. You have to add talent to this team. You have to do it. They could be bringing 2 wide receivers. They're going to be bringing more players. That's going to happen. That's going to impact some way, somehow. He could stand out as the alpha. He could be a Keenan Allen for a long time. That's definitely in the cards. I'm not even telling you to sell him. I'm just giving you the options. But I would not be selling him cheap because just in case that happens, and plus the value is at its peak. If I was looking to buy him, this is how I would do it. I would wait until the rookie draft when I was on the clock where my picks are at full value, close to that time, and I would shoot an offer. I'd try to shoot low. I'd try to get him with a high second, late first. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and buy low on him at that point when everyone's in love with the rookies, when the dust is settled on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Right now, it's on the air. Everyone's excited about him. They're talking him up. A few months from now, he's going to be that rookie that we look back on in the ADP. We see the age next to him. He's a younger wide receiver with some production, with some value. And you know what? Him and Chris Olave, George Pickens, someone off the board that other manager likes, they may be willing to part with Amon-Ra St. Brown if you're looking to buy him. I would not buy him now. I would not pay for him now. I would not pay up for that. I would not be moving my mid-first round rookie pick, my 101 rookie pick, and some change for Amon-Ra St. Brown because it's going to take a good bit to get him. No one's going to just give him away, shop him for a second and some. He's going for Chase Claypool and wide receivers in that range. So you got to think that you're going to have to pay up to get him. Maybe the dust settles come rookie draft time. And if it doesn't, you know what? there's a ton of wide receivers in this draft. This is another good wide receiver class, and we're going to have another good one next year. And this is a wide receiver bubble that's growing at the NFL level. And 80% of the time, NFL teams are in 3 wide receiver sets. You're going to see more wide receivers implemented in the game. And also, we're going to see the older wide receivers start to dilute out. They'll start washing out of the market as well as these younger wide receivers start getting into the fold. And then we're going to see some of these younger wide receivers start to drop off. Just how the circulation of these wide receivers work. Amon-Ra St. Brown. My thoughts on him, since I gave you all these scenarios, is I think he's a good wide receiver. I think he is living up to his rookie draft profile of him being a crafty technician, a guy that just does everything right, makes the catch at the catch point while being contested, runs good routes, good player, and I think he's going to serve the Lions well. I think there could be volatility in his fantasy production going forward. I think he has the potential to be a wide receiver 1 going forward and do this for a long time. I don't see why the Lions want to divert from this. It's good to have a good tight end, a good running back, and then a wide receiver can produce. You could live with that. That's good to have. I could see this going on for a bit. I can't tell you that he's a bad player. I can also tell you that there's a lot of good wide receivers in the league, and they're just going to all jockey for position. So you might as well pay back, get a few of them, and stream them if you want to, since there's so many, if you want to play it that way. Also, you want to play the value game and always kick the tires. Amon-Ra St. Brown, these last few weeks, he's experienced a value change. If your player experienced a value change on your roster, you may want to kick the tires and see if you can get a deal on them. If not, you enjoy the production. No biggie. See if you can make the trade. See if you can make your team better. Never be afraid to sell a player. I don't care if it's Jonathan Taylor. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes and Superflex. Never be afraid to sell a player. See what you can get on the market. Every time a trade goes on in your league, a team in your league has gotten better. And that being said, we have to be active. And being active is pushing your players who are hots, who are good, onto the market. See what you get. You don't have to sell them. You don't have to sell them. You have to sell them for a good deal, though. If it's not a good deal, you keep them. You enjoy the production. Sounds simple. Sounds common sense. But it only sounds like that because I'm saying it. However, not many fantasy gamers practice it. They're not 100% active. And they miss out on trades that could potentially happen because they do not work the market. So one thing you want to do if you have Amon-Ra St. Brown on your team, check the market, see what you can get. If it's not something you love, first-round pick or more, or a first-round pick where you're in position to get one of the rookies that you like, don't do it. Don't do it. Get what you want from it because the value's up. If you're looking to buy, don't buy now because the value is too high. Buy him later when he's on the low end on the spectrum. That might be rookie draft time when things have settled. And it might not be either because he's a rookie who's been productive. But if you're going to bet, that's the time to bet. It's rookie draft time when everyone's looking for these rookies. They got rookie fever. But that's all I got to say on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's good, but you really want to play the mark in your league the best you can with him to maximize your overall value for your dynasty teams. I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll catch you next time.